Okay, Trevor, I have this MATLAB GUI. It's actually further along than I remembered it being. So that's good news. Anyway, you can find that by going to the box sync research, and then from there, geolocation, and from there, post-flight 4 has the latest version. Okay, so this is a UI, so post-flight main is how you run it. I already have it running, so we'll click over here. All right, so the way you work this, you have to know an order here, so it's not very user-friendly, but you have to create a map or load a previous one. I have a previous one loaded, and this is DTED data. You could Google that and find out what that is. I think it's of California, and we have a way of rotating this in 3 dimensions so you can see what the terrain looks like. All right, and it's also, you can look at a top view, which is what we usually use. Okay, so with this, I can create data sets. So the first thing I'm going to do here is create a flight path. And notice I chose 4 different waypoints. We're flying at 20,000 feet. You can change those up, but basically you're flying at constant elevation. Okay, so there's a path. Then I can put in emitters. Let's put 3 of them in. And I can graphically do that. 1, 2, 3. Okay. You need it to be relatively close to the flight path. You know, here's the scale down here, nautical miles. You can see 20 nautical miles is about that far. Right here where the cursor is. Anything within 30 nautical miles along the flight path will pick up bearings. Okay. And so you can simulate bearings. You can change that range. I have it at 30 nautical miles. You can do the bearing error plus or minus however many degrees. And then I have this outlier parameter where basically this is saying 10% of your bearings are just crazy wrong. Okay. We have ways of exporting it to Excel, but that's not that important for this thing. If you wanted to plot the emitter locations, the bearings, normally I hide that because you don't need to see it for the simulations, but select an emitter number. Like if I select emitter number 2, I can plot. I got to generate the bearings. So I hit do it, and now I can plot the bearings for that particular emitter. So I can zoom in here and see what that looks like. And so you can see the emitter got covered up with the green bearing lines. And these red ones are the bad bearings. Of course, the reason I know that is because I simulated the data. In general, you wouldn't know which ones are bad. You'd have to figure that algorithmically. Okay, so let me go back. Top view. And you can clear that and look at a different emitter location. So if you wanted more, more outliers, you can change that to 20%. Hit do it, and plot the bearings that you get. So I think all that's working. I haven't checked it real close, but you get the idea. All right, so I'm going to clear this. Next, all right, if we were looking at emitter number 1, this is a setup of Monte Carlo kind of things. So let's run 100 trials, and let's say that we don't have any kind of outlier mitigation. We're going to plot these in blue. This is a color, and I hit the locate button, and it takes a while, but you'll start seeing around emitter number 1 there'll be a cluster of blue points that appear, and you can zoom in to that. And you see that's that's what we have. For some reason it seems wrong, like we didn't get the outliers in there. I remember it being a bigger spread. All right, well, let's do an outlier trim and see if it makes any difference. If we trim 20% of these and then we do this with red, these are MATLAB codes for colors, by the way. We run that. Oh, yeah, things are much smaller. You can zoom in a little further. I say that. I'm in trouble with the zoom. Okay, top view. Zoom in. Okay, and so I used some ellipse fitting functions that, like I said, tried to encapsulate a certain percentage of the data. I haven't counted those dots, but that looks more like 90% to me than 95%. Same thing with the red. You know, there's several outside the ellipse, but you know, you get the idea. Both of them capture the emitter in this case. It's not in the center of the ellipse because, you know, the CPLE is biased. That's the reason that's showing up like that. So this gives you an idea of where I am on this. I'd like to be able to run lots of different experiments, and you see we already have a situation where we can play with the outlier trim. You know, if we took 40% of the bearings that looked off to us and threw them away, you can relocate that. I forgot to change the color, but you'll get, you know, a bigger ellipse, but hopefully it would, you know, capture all the data. So anyway, take a look at this and we'll talk about it on Wednesday.